We're going to go, however, to this story because the University of KwaZulu-Natal's academic Professor Mary de Haas is set to testify before Parliament's ad hoc committee today. Minister Newzroom Afrika previously said her correspondence raising concerns about the KZN political killings task team influenced his decision to disband the unit. De Haas is expected to elaborate on those concerns as the committee probes allegations of criminal infiltration and political interference in the justice system. Zoleka Qodashe joins us live now from Parliament. It's one way we anticipate to maybe get the full story here, Zoleka. Let's run through the expectations and what we've heard of Mary de Haas thus far. Good morning.
Good morning, Arabile. That's correct. We're expecting that Professor Mary de Haas will shed some light on some of her concerns in relation to the workings of KwaZulu-Natal's political killings task team. You'll remember that when Minister Newzroom Afrika, the man at the center of the disbandment of the PKTT and who issued the directive for the disbandment on the 31st of December 2024, when he appeared before Parliament's ad hoc committee, he essentially testified that he took the considerations of Professor Mary de Haas as well as another person, that's Patricia Mashale, into consideration when he descended upon his home province and penned that all-important letter on the 31st of December last year, also saying that he considered some of their reservations as well as concerns in light of various other aspects in relation to the PKTT. You'll remember that he also said that the PKTT was not meant to be a permanent unit within the structure or the organogram of the SAPS and instead was supposed to be a temporary solution to a temporary crisis. This is despite the fact that we are going to be heading to those 2026 local government elections, and that, of course, remains a concern. Particularly, those are the utterances of the now police minister or acting police minister, Professor Kachalia. And so we expect that Professor de Haas will also shed light on some of what she found to be concerning in relation to the PKTT and how it was managing itself, and also those issues of budget that were alluded to or testified by the minister when he took to the hot seat of Parliament's inquisitorial body. So we're expecting that she'll also be responding to some of those claims that she is a desktop researcher in relation to what was said by the top cop in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, that's Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, when he said that the institution, that's the University of KwaZulu-Natal, should be concerned that it has someone on its radar or in its system, such as that of Professor de Haas. So we're expecting that not only will she be shedding light on some of the concerns that she has with the workings of the PKTT, but also will be defending her body of work in the face of criticism that has been leveled against her. You'll remember that it was not only KwaZulu-Natal's top cop that made some of those, that leveled some of that criticism towards her. It was also the country's national commissioner, that's Fani Masimula, when he also testified before Parliament's ad hoc committee in relation to the kind of work that Professor Mary de Haas puts forth. And so we're expecting that that will also be some of what she will be testifying around. But you'll remember, Arabile, that when Minister Newzroom Afrika asked, or rather said that he considered some of that input by those two parties when he issued the letter for the disbandment of the PKTT, he faced criticism as well from MPs, particularly the MK party's Sibonelo Nomvalo, who accused the minister of failing to test the allegations that were put forth by Professor Mary de Haas. And it will be interesting also to hear where she gets the information that she gets she gets. And so we expect that she'll also be responding to those allegations that her criticism was not tested by the minister when that all-important directive for the disbandment of the PKTT came from the minister's office on the 31st of December last year. And so we're expecting that that will take place and she will take to the hot seat at 11 a.m. and respond to those allegations, also shedding light on the criticism that she has for the PKTT that will also kind of accentuate and give us some more insight into what led to that decision and the workings of the PKTT when the minister drafted that directive for its disbandment on the 31st of December 2024. Arabile, those proceedings are expected to kick off at 11 a.m.
Zoleka, very quickly, just before you leave, some may be asking the question as to the relation between her and Senzo Mchunu as well. Do we know any further details with regards to that relationship? I know how much you've spoken towards some of that now as well, and that's why you find that you had Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, the KZN Police Commissioner, asking the commission to actually have, or the committee to have, Mary de Haas there. And I suppose that relation coming into question too.
That's correct, Arabile. You'll remember that when former police commissioner and former police minister Bheki also appeared before the ad hoc committee, he raised certain questions and asking the question why the minister would bow to pressure from an external party such as Professor Mary de Haas. He actually said that it was in October when Mary de Haas drafted something or communicated with the minister in relation to the workings of the PKTT, speaking directly to the minister and not approaching the National Commissioner, Fani Masimula, and also saying that essentially it was after that, it was before the disbandment or the attempted disbandment of the PKTT that Mary de Haas already had an idea that this was coming. And then after that, approached the National Commissioner saying essentially that she expected that this would be happening because she had received that indication from the minister. So that's also a relationship that will be put into sharp focus when Professor Mary de Haas also testifies before the ad hoc committee. It will be interesting to note or to see what kind of relationship she paints out between herself and the minister. Of course, also in relation to her looking and essentially watching the workings of the police service, what her insight will be as well. Of course, we know that she has an extensive history in this field. It will be interesting also to see what she has to say in relation to the workings of the PKTT, but why essentially the minister would take her considerations into account. You'll remember that it was also before the ad hoc committee that there was criticism leveled against the minister, but then he later retracted it back, took a U-turn, essentially saying that the work of the PKTT was essential, but also said that it wasn't just those considerations that he made in relation to the disbandment of the PKTT, Arabile.
Very important there to get that outlining of the scenario. Zoleka, Qodashe, thank you so much for giving us that.